As busy, intentional homeschool moms, it is sometimes hard to find time for replenishing ourselves. Today I want to talk about finding time to replenish, for self-care, for the things that make us happy and healthy. Hi, I'm Kenna. I help parents inspire an environment of learning in their homes. And this is relevant to that because any time that the educator is happy and healthy, the home environment of learning goes more smoothly, right? We are better able to give when we have enough in our tank to give. So I think this is so relevant, and I think sometimes we get caught in the sacrifice trap where we know that motherhood is sacrifice, and it is. And sacrifice is worth it, right? The right sacrifice, I should say, is worth it. But it has to be in balance, because to be able to give, you have to also be able to receive, to replenish, so that you can give with a full tank, give all that you have, and it actually goes smoother in the other areas of life if you take the time to replenish you. So today I just want to give a few ideas about how this might fit into a busy schedule. First, I want to talk about what replenishment might look like for you, because I think replenishing activities might look different depending on who we are, what lights us up, right? What is interesting to you. So I want you to honor your own needs for self-care and for that replenishment. For me, reading a good book, trying a new recipe, having a great conversation, those are all things that replenish me. And so I know that those things can be incorporated into my self-care, into my regular routine, right? Because I homeschool, so of course I need to read. Reading replenishes me, so it can actually integrate right into my schedule, if that makes sense. Trying a new recipe. Sometimes I'm too busy to try a new recipe or to experiment in the kitchen, and I'm just on quick meal autopilot, which I love quick meals. They are what I live by. But I do like to experiment in the kitchen sometimes. So allowing that extra time in the schedule once in a while for that creation in the kitchen replenishes me, and it nourishes my family. So see how that's a dual purpose there. What's the last one I said? Great conversation, right? So when I go teach classes or when I get together for my book groups, those are moments that replenish me because I get to have conversations with other people that replenish me. So some of them can just integrate into our life, but recognizing, right, brainstorming, really giving some thought into the things that replenish you and making sure that they fit, right, into your life, that you have moments in your life that support that. And it can be integrated right in to regular life in many, many cases. But even if it doesn't, you prioritize those things. You prioritize those things in your own life so that you can make time for it. One of the things that replenishes me is yoga. I like yoga. And when my kids were little, I often did yoga with a baby, like crawling underneath or crawling on top, and it was just integrated in. I also did kid yoga for a lot of years, where we did yoga that, is the menagerie of animals that yoga poses are fun for kids. And so you integrate it in and you do it with your kids, but it still replenished me. And now that they're older and they don't crawl underneath me, sometimes they talk to me during my yoga sessions, sometimes they join me during my yoga sessions, but there's still something that I carve out time for replenishing me. And I try to integrate it. Like, this is the thought, right? What lights me up? What replenishes me? And then how can I fit that into my regular schedule? And then how can I carve out time if it doesn't fit into my regular schedule? And how can I weave my regular schedule into it, right? How can that fit into my life for real? Like, how does that fit into my real life? Not the ideal. We have moments of the ideal in our real life, right? And that's what we do. We incorporate it all, and we create those moments that replenish us. And I think sometimes the things that replenish us are not huge things. They're just things that make us happy. Does music, a certain type of music, replenish you? Then maybe that's what you play while you're fixing your hair, right? In the morning. Something simple like that. Or does silence replenish you? Well, maybe you don't turn on music while you fix your hair and you just breathe and you use that moment of silence to replenish you. But fitting those small and simple things into the pockets of your daily life, I think, are essential for busy lives, so that we're not just waiting for the moment of replenishment, but that we interweave moments of replenishment into our schedule. So this is the kind of thing I want you to start thinking about, right? Is how can I integrate this into my schedule? Another thought about how to replenish as part of the everyday life is to use your triggers to remind you to be grateful. For example, if you see toys strewn over the floor, all over the floor, again, right? Maybe you use that moment of the toys strewn all over the floor as a trigger to remind you to be grateful for the little people that are in your life. Maybe the game that is left out for weeks on end because they never find time to finish it. You can take that moment to be grateful for those people that share your life and that have ambitions and busy lives that make it so they have a rich, full education and experience of life. Maybe your spouse leaves the toilet seat up, and that's annoying. But when you see that, you use that as a trigger to remind you how grateful you are to have that person in your life. And how that small annoyance is such a small thing, right? To how grateful you are in all that you receive and are replenished by that relationship. So even I think the way we approach the world, the way we move through our life, can help us find replenishment as we move through our life. We carve out times for replenishment, but we also find a way to move through life in a way that replenishes us. Even those moments that are frustrating, when we feel frustration, I think, is a perfect time to use it as a reminder to be grateful for what you have in your life. There's a flip side to every annoying side, right? Use that to get a perspective and be grateful. And then, gratitude, of course, is a great way to replenish. And so then you can move through life with your cup fuller and be able to give more because you are looking on the bright side of life. And then, of course, I think it is fine to carve out time for you and to show your family that that's a priority. Of course, you don't want to do it at the expense of your family, but I've found that, the people that love us and the people that we show love to, if we express a need to them, there is usually willingness to make that happen. And so have the conversation with your family that there is something in particular that you need, and just see if they can see that, and you can find a way to get support to integrate some of those things in your life if you feel like you can't integrate it in without help, right? Without support, without carving out time. Seek out those conversations, seek out support, and just see. You might be surprised at how much they are willing to give to you, and also what ideas come just in talking about it to help you figure out how to take those moments to replenish you. Those are simple ideas. And there are subjects that I've mentioned that we could go deeper on. But I think it's enough, right now, to get your wheels thinking and to help you think about how to find time to replenish in the middle of a busy life. Thanks for watching. Here's to you for finding time and ways to replenish yourself so that you can give all that you need to give, all that you want to give to the important things in your life. You've got this.